Alright, everybody, welcome back. This is part 2 of our top 100 movies. So, if you haven't checked out the first part, pretty much the 100 all the way up to 51, check it out. It'd be really, really cool. See if you agree on us, with us on our list. If not, we're just going to actually just kind of go straight into the list. Part 1 was just kind of just introducing. Part 2 is just us talking about our favorite movies. So our top 50.
Top 50.
So, see how it goes and see how long it lasts.
All right. Yep.
So,
Let's start.
So, number 50 for you.
For me,
Yeah.
number 50, action movie, Fast 5.
Fast 5.
This is my favorite Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people will say the first one's the best. I think it's really good, but Fast 5 is great. Bank robbery, a lot of characters, a lot of good characters, and good action movie.
Okay. Number 50 for me is Sherlock Holmes. So,
The
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
So the first one
First
for
one.
me. I like it just because it's very well acted, the really good cast, reactions between each other was really good, and it's Sherlock. It's Sherlock Holmes. It's
Yes.
pretty cool, and it's investigative stuff mixed with fighting and action. So
And a good,
good villain.
environment or
Yeah.
kind of that
It's like
1890s.
1890s. Yeah, it's a while back. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Good atmosphere. Yeah.
yeah.
49.
49.
300. Love 300. This is such a good movie because love the slow motion fight scenes where it kind of like follows the spear and it's just so good. Great acting, honestly, too.
Okay.
Because you have Michael Fassbender and Gerard Butler's only good movie,
Yep.
in my opinion.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And yeah, I mean, it's just like a over embellishment of what actually happened.
Right.
So it's another good historical
Historical fiction. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. 49 for me is Dumb and Dumber.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. We talked about that.
Kind of talked about already the stupid humor. It's Dumb and Dumber. It's
Dumb humor.
Right in the title.
Dumb and Dumber humor. Yeah.
48.
48. Scarface.
Scarface.
Classic. Cult classic movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's really long. It's like 3 hours,
Yeah.
but it's entertaining throughout. So it's also probably one of my favorite old movies.
Okay.
Because I think it's a late 70s or early 80s movie.
Yeah.
But very interesting. Al Pacino, probably his best role,
Favorite
in my opinion.
gangster movie for you, or would you consider it a gangster movie?
Yeah, kind of.
Kinda. It's kind of.
It's a mob. It's
on
about
Yeah.
his rise to. It's like it's more of like, not like cartel, but it's weird. But yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Actually, no, because I have one later on the list that's more. I have a couple
Okay.
mob / gangster movies.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. 48 for me is Scooby-Doo Alien Invaders.
Alien Invaders. Up to
This one's out in the desert of Roswell, basically, and they're like investigating all these, basically like these signs that aliens are trying to communicate with people, and really it's like this crew that found an underground mine, basically, like with a bunch of like gold and oil or something like that. Yeah, Alien Invaders.
I don't remember this one.
Yeah, I like it just because it's funny, and Shaggy meets Crystal, I think it is. Was it Crystal? Yeah, and he like falls in love with her and all that
Nice.
stuff.
Yeah.
And at the end, it turns out that she is the alien. So
Spoilers.
So there is an alien. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
47.
47 is Joker.
Joker.
The new one.
Joker.
Not Joker 2, but first Joker.
First one. That one was good.
Yeah, I honestly think that Joaquin Phoenix did honestly just as good a job as Heath Ledger.
Knocked it out of the park.
Because different portrayals, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this movie. It's gritty. It's
Yeah. No, it was good.
yeah.
47 for me was Home Alone, the first one.
Nice. Yep.
So I don't know, something about it. Just every winter
You have to watch it.
gotta
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
It's another Christmas movie. We already talked about the second one on part one, but
Yep.
I mean, really, it's kind of the same premise. Really, it's just different
Yeah,
things.
I mean, yeah.
So,
But yeah.
all right, 46.
46, Coherence.
Mm.
Coherence is kind of an indie film it's kind of about not time travel, but kind of a different realities. And
Okay. Alternate
it's-
dimensions, kind of thing, or
yeah, sort of. Yeah. And what's so interesting is like there's the great dialogue, or not great dialogue, but there's dialogue in the first half an hour.
Oh, okay.
All of it is so important though.
Oh, okay.
And it just builds into this really mysterious story, and it's really good. In the last half an hour, you're just like,
Huh.
this is the craziest movie
Crazy.
ever.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
I mean, it's an indie film, so it's kind of a more lower budget, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
amazing. It's so good.
Some of those are like the best ones.
Yes.
46 for me was Prince of Egypt.
Nice.
The
Yeah.
animated film. Yeah, man.
Classic.
I mean, just what to say about that.
Yeah.
Everything's amazing about it. Animation's great. The songs are great. The story's great. The voice acting, they did an amazing job.
Mhm.
It's obviously for us, one of the movies that we grew up
Yep.
watching all the time. So I feel like it's a great movie just in general. So
Yeah.
but,
Solid. Yeah.
45.
45. This will be a controversial one.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage,
Uh-huh.
Con Air.
Con Air. I don't know if I ever really saw that
This
one.
is like a pretty big action movie, 2001 maybe, around there.
97.
97.
97.
But yeah, Nicolas Cage, John Malkovich. There's a Dave Chappelle's in this one too, actually.
Oh, that's him with the long hair?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
got long hair.
Gotcha.
Honestly, everyone in that movie is great, and he kind of over embellishes his accent
okay.
a little bit, which is whatever.
Yeah.
But all the scenes in the plane, which is
you have another Steve Buscemi. He's in there
Buscemi's
too.
great,
Yeah.
Danny Trejo,
John Malkovich. Yeah. Wow.
Ving Rhames, yeah. But yeah, every scene in the plane is great, and John Malkovich is a great villain.
Nice. 45 for me is Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, actually. So I don't like any of the Paranormal Activity movies because they're boring and nothing happens until this one came out, I guess.
Mhm.
And this one was actually like, it's basically like a cult group disguised as an Amish community. And so like this trio of like videographers pretty much go in and try to like, videotape the life of the Amish, and the whole thing of the Amish is like, oh, we can't
Yeah.
be videotaped. So they're like, wow, they're letting us do this. And then obviously there's, nefarious reasons for
Yeah.
that. So 44.
44. So this is movie 43. And when
Movie
I ranked it at 43, and then I just recently added a movie to my top 40 or whatever. So
Okay,
it
yeah.
got moved down from 43 to, but movie 43 is a
Movie
comedy.
43.
And it's got like 20, the cast is crazy.
Oh, really?
Like Hugh Jackman, Chris Pratt,
Wow.
Wow. I've never heard of it.
Wow. That's a lot.
Liev Schreiber,
Wow. Yeah.
Dennis
Kate
Quaid.
Winslet.
Yeah, Naomi Watts,
Chris Pratt,
Anna Faris.
Wow. Dennis Quaid.
Who else is in there?
Emma Stone.
Oh
Kristen
yeah,
Bell. Wow.
yeah.
What?
And so it like there's just like segments of like 10-minute sketches sort of, or 10-minute like situations that are all funny, and it's really funny.
That's
Gerard
awesome.
Butler.
Gerard
Gerard
Butler's
Butler.
in it, yeah.
44 for me is live action Scooby-Doo, the first one.
Mm.
I like it. Some people don't, some
Yeah,
people
it's-
do.
yeah.
You either like it or you don't, I
Yeah.
feel like. And for me, I absolutely love it. Both my wife and I will watch it a lot.
Mhm.
Just because we both like it. We both quote it all the time.
I quoted in Spanish.
You quote it in Spanish, yeah. It's just a whimsical thing. As you guys can tell, I really like Scooby-Doo. So, all right, 43.
43, Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh, yeah.
Classic
That's a great one.
classic movie, 90s.
I'm glad it's
Tim
in your top
something.
50 at least.
Yeah. It almost has to be. And just a great story, a classic. There's
Mhm.
nothing really much. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen this. I mean, if they haven't, then
One of my friends has not seen it yet. And I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
I told him, you're
But-
missing out.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
no, it's
amazing.
Yeah.
Prison Break, and with extra elements of just psychological stuff.
Yeah, and just figuring
happening.
out the system too.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Fitting in. 43 for me is Onward. So this is a animated
Oh, yeah.
Pixar film, I think it is, and it's like pretty much modern day D&D with two brothers, basically, which is it was incredible.
Chris Pratt and
Tom
Holland.
Tom Holland, yes. So they're pretty much just two elves, trying to find I forget what it's called, a stone that resurrects their
Sapphire, I
dad
think?
for like a day, basically. And they're trying to find that stone until that happens.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of stuff that happens, and there's like the whole movie is a reference to D&D, so it's incredible. 42.
42, another powerful one, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Great World War II movie, Matt Damon, Tom Hanks.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And
emotional. Very bloody.
Very emotional, and then the last half an hour is devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but like,
It's a bad ending.
yeah, they go
Well, I mean,
through
quote unquote bad ending.
Yeah.
It's a tough
ending. It's a good ending, but it's
Yeah.
like I said, it's devastating to see what happens. But
Right.
yeah, it just kind of goes through the progression of the invasion of Normandy,
Mhm.
and first scene is brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. 42 for me is Krampus, actually.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hit or miss too on a lot of people's movies, I guess, just because I feel like which is funny enough because that was for me, I didn't like Krampus at first when I first watched it, and then I rewatched it and I'm like, this is incredible, this is really cool, it's very creative. And so if you know anything about the Krampus figure, then he's basically like the shadow of Santa. So, and then he uses his little minions to like snag the bad people, before Christmas. So it is a Christmas movie. So.
Yeah.
41.
41. We talked about this one earlier, I think. The Village,
Yeah,
because you had that at like 60 or something. But,
60 something. Yeah,
The Village.
Village
This
is
is
good.
probably my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I mean the atmosphere, and like you talked about the Amish
Yeah.
in.
The Puritan Village.
Uh,
So not quite Amish, but
I know, but in
the
Mexican.
Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal
Yeah.
Activity. So this is The Village is like that, where you kind of figure out something really odd is going on, and
Yeah.
very very mysterious.
hmm
Great setting. I love the whole setup of this. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes up for everything. Like,
hmm
yeah,
And then like the last 20 minutes maybe of the film is when everything starts to unravel.
yeah.
Like
I mean, yeah,
really-
sort of, yeah.
Well, yeah, kind of. Where are we at? Oh, 41. Sinister.
Nice.
So this is another horror film
Mhm.
of the Boogeyman, and it's I would say it's a pretty creepy movie.
Yeah.
With like home videos and basically kids trying to follow the Boogeyman and his. I guess he has some sort of like mental power over them, and he almost possesses them, but not quite.
Yeah.
It's you could probably take it in a number of directions. So, 40.
40 comedy. This is The End. This is with James Franco, Seth Rogen,
Mm.
Jay Baruchel, Craig Robinson.
Pretty stacked cast.
Yes.
Oh, I've seen the posters or the
You've
what-
seen parts.
Yeah.
you've seen parts of it. Yeah.
But yeah, I love this movie, and yeah, I
Is
mean,
that
it's just
the,
funny because it's really just they act as themselves, sort of.
It-
Oh, Danny McBride is so good in this.
Is that the apocalypse movie?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just like celebrities acting like celebrities during an apocalypse, and
Emma Watson.
Channing Tatum, yeah.
Rihanna, Channing
Yeah.
Tatum. Wow. Big
But
actors.
yeah, really funny, and yeah, Danny McBride carries this movie. It's so good.
Number 40, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
40. School of Rock.
Nice.
Jack Black. Incredible movie to just kind of come back to if you want to just sit down, relax, have a good time, and have some good jokes, and just I don't know, just kind of shut
And if
your
you
brain
like,
off for a little
yeah,
bit.
if you like creating music too, and
Yeah.
like you kind of like
Right.
Jack Black is great at mixing humor and music.
Yeah.
So like it's just a good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like when I put that on the list too. I was really, I totally forgot about it. But Tenacious D,
Yes.
I don't have that on my list. I'm like,
oh, the
I'm
Pick
like,
of Destiny.
"No."
Yeah.
yeah, Pick of Destiny. I was like,
I don't know if it would make
"Oh."
it for me, but yeah.
I don't think it
it's
would
a
be-
cool classic movie.
Yeah,
So
I don't think it'd be top 100, but it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. 39.
39. Apocalypto.
Apocalypto.
Apocalypto's great. Another brutal movie.
Yeah.
Mel
Yes.
Gibson directed it.
I forget. Is that the Aztec?
Yeah.
Empire? It is? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
And so yeah, it follows Aztec, like the rituals and basically
Kind of like their history and their
yeah,
lore
sort
a
of, but
little
it's
bit.
it's about what happened to their people, and then
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the brutality of everything.
it's right before.
Spanish Inquisition? kind of
No,
thing? No?
this is so it's like in
I forget where it's
Brazil.
set. Brazil.
It's in Brazil.
Oh,
And it's right
'cause
before
all
one of the-
rainforests, Yeah.
Can't remember what his name is, but at the end,
Yeah. They come in and invade.
with the gold, what's his name?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's his name? Well,
I'm gonna look it up.
okay, we'll look it up. I'll go to my next one. Another Scooby-Doo one. Cyber Chase.
Cortez.
Cortez.
His name is
Oh, yeah.
Cortez.
Yeah.
You see Cortez at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Cyber Chase.
Yes,
Scooby-Doo.
that's my
So,
favorite. That is my favorite Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
movie.
That is good old classic Scoob. Cyber Chase being zapped into a video game and trying to beat all the levels. And at the
Mhm.
very end, you got to beat the virus. So, very straightforward, but it's very fun.
Yeah.
Because there's all the different levels and
Because they're chasing the virus
Yeah.
the whole time.
they're trying to
basically,
catch
but
it.
Yeah.
And to catch the virus, to defeat it, and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, I like that one because of the concept is different than every other Scooby-Doo movie.
absolutely.
But, yeah.
All right, 38.
38. The Interview.
Interview.
The Interview. James Franco and Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
This is great. James Franco is amazing in this. And, yeah, they go to North Korea and they kind of investigate the
The
free speech
atrocities.
thing. And this movie's actually banned in North Korea. So,
Oh, it doesn't surprise me.
yeah. Just, it's really fun. It's pretty popular and it's good. So, yeah.
Nice. 38 for me. As Above, So Below. So this is another horror movie based in Paris in the catacombs. Catacombs. I don't know why I say catacombs. Basically, it's one of those first-person ones, which we don't really like a whole lot. But this one's really interesting because they tie in.
Is it like, not like it's like found footage?
Yeah,
what they call it?
well, yeah, almost like a found footage.
Okay.
And basically, like this researcher, she's after the Rosetta Stone, and she finds Rosetta Stone, and then she also is in search of the I was gonna say Sorcerer's Stone, the Philosopher's Stone. Basically, like the stone that if you have the dust or whatever, you can like heal wounds or turn
Cure
liquid to
disease,
gold or
yeah.
cure diseases. So she's after that, and she finds
Philosopher's Stone.
Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, so it's really cool. It's also kind of creepy too. It kind of adds a little bit with Dante's Inferno, and
Oh, okay.
also like there's like traits to it you could see.
Inspired by true events.
Inspired by true events because of people getting lost in the catacombs. It's a pretty creepy movie,
Yeah.
but I like it. 37.
37. Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Interstellar. This would probably be on a lot of people's top 10.
Yeah. It's a wild list.
It's it's really good. Christopher Nolan movie. Right after this, he starts to go downhill in directing.
After Interstellar.
Yep. And he delves too deeply into
Too greedily and too deep.
greedily and too deep into this sort of like science,
Yeah.
sci-fi.
Yeah. But Interstellar is pretty cool. It's a
yeah.
thought-provoking
movie.
movie.
It's a great movie. I love this movie.
Yeah.
But great cast. Matt Damon,
Uh-huh.
McConaughey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Damon is in there. Yeah. It's been a while since I watched it, so.
Farquaad is in it. Voice actor. What's his name? John Lithgow. Yeah. Michael Caine.
Uh-huh. Michael Caine, yeah. It's
Anne
another
Hathaway's in
it's
it.
another big movie, big cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big blockbuster. But yeah.
37 for me is Shrek.
Nice.
The
Yeah.
first Shrek movie. Yeah. A lot of people enjoy the second one over the first, but for me, a classic original story.
They're
Shrek.
probably tied.
They're probably
the same,
tied with a
but
lot
yeah.
of people, but I mean, I can never go wrong with the first Shrek. Very quotable.
Yeah.
Music's great. It's, I mean, an ogre instead of Prince Charming kind of thing. I'm like, yep, I like the whole twist on fairy tales, and
Yeah,
yeah, Shrek's just amazing.
it's classic. Yeah.
All right, 36.
36, Zoolander.
Zoolander.
Derek Zoolander. Yeah.
Yeah.
First one's amazing, and I quote this all the time. And a lot of my friends do too. It's just kind of, is it stupid humor? Sort of.
A little bit.
Mostly.
I
But
mean,
it's also
it's a
make-
comedy.
It's a comedy. It's making fun of celebrities, basically. Making fun of
How they act and all that. Like,
yeah, making
the
fun of
ego.
male models. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
36 for me is the second Conjuring. So Conjuring 2. This
Sounds
is
my favorite.
It is?
Yeah.
So this is the Enfield poltergeist, as it's called in the Warren Files. Basically set in England, and I actually really enjoyed Second Conjuring. At first, it got me kind of up and down about it, but then I continually watched it, like rewatched it. I'm like, actually, this is really cool. I actually kind of like how it's all set up, how the Warrens interact with the family. The whole thing of the daughter seeing the spirit constantly, but nobody's else is seeing it until pretty much the end. So I don't know, just really like it. Another quote unquote investigative piece mixed with horror. Very cool.
Yeah.
So 35.
35 is the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
This is a
Haven't
Wes
seen it.
Anderson movie, so yeah, the cast in this one is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Grand
want to look it up,
Budapest
because Norton is in it. Bill
Really?
Murray.
Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes is the main character. Basically follows him. He was the
Wow.
manager
Tilda
or
Swinton. Wow.
manager of this hotel. Yeah, Adrian
Owen
Brody,
Wilson,
Willem Dafoe.
Adrian Brody.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah. Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. Yep.
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
Wow.
Jude Law's in it for about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But-
that's a
So yeah,
Nice.
I mean, it's a comedy drama, mostly drama. I guess it just follows what happens, and
Huh.
it's really interesting.
Yeah.
So like he's the same director that did Fantastic Mr. Fox,
Okay.
and yeah, he's a good director. I don't like his newest movies, but no, this one's really good.
Nice. 35 for me, Greatest Showman. So another musical.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. My wife and I love every single song on that movie. So like we'll listen to the soundtrack all the time. Choreography is incredible. Story is really cool. Following P.T. Barnum in the circus, all that fun stuff. And I don't know, the story is just very, I don't know, just kind of powerful in a way. Just like stick to your roots kind of movie, you know.
Yeah.
See where you're truly happy. So
Yeah.
34.
34, Avengers: Infinity War.
Infinity War. Nice.
This one's really high because it was, I when I watched it when it came out,
Yeah.
right after I left the theater, I was like, that's just the best Avengers movie, or best, Captain America, Iron Man, like all this MCU.
Yeah.
This is the best one, and
Uniting under one common enemy against a common enemy.
yeah, and it was the movie where the villain wins, and you're like kind of left thinking like, well, something's got to happen now.
Yeah.
But
All right.
yeah, really enjoyed Infinity War. Great to watch that in theater when it came out.
Yeah. We watched it in theaters too, and it was well worth it. Yeah. 34 for me, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Nice.
So this is the third HP installment, and I don't know, something about it is just really cool. It really ups the stakes in Harry Potter. Like the first two are kind of like, introductory. Who's Voldemort? He's a threat, whatever. But like third one, it really expands. Where there's Dementors, there's Lupin as the werewolf, there's all these rumors and whispers of Voldemort returning.
Sirius
and
Black.
So Sirius Black. Like a lot of things just really up the ante, and then plus, I mean, Harry and his crew are growing up too. So I mean, this is third year. They're all trying to like see who they really are. So,
Yeah, it's a little darker too. And
a little darker. Just
Yeah.
takes a little darker twist.
Third one is my favorite. It's up on my.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty far up, but
really, and the ending scenes and
yeah, and it's great. Yeah,
it's great. All right, 32.
33.
No, sorry, 30.
Yeah,
33. Sorry.
33.
Skipped it.
This one is definitely controversial.
Okay.
And a lot of people do not like this one.
Oh,
Alien Covenant.
Covenant.
Alien Covenant. So this is after Prometheus.
Okay.
and I really enjoyed this because I liked the.
I haven't
They
seen it.
had Michael Fassbender's David, and then there's another one because he kind of acts as two. Because
Yeah, we haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, Covenant, right? You said
Yeah.
he's David, and then there's
Michael
another
Fassbender.
Walter. Yeah. So so there's David and Walter, and there's kind of there's like different like prototypes or like different
Okay.
versions,
Yeah.
and so that to me was so interesting, and
Huh.
the whole concept of that, and then
Yeah.
because it's the kind of the creators of the aliens or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
really enjoyed this one.
Interesting. All right. 33 for me, I believe is going to be the last Scooby-Doo on my list. Zombie Island.
Zombie Island. Yep.
So, this is my all-time favorite Scooby-Doo movie ever. I really like it because it deals with actual monsters. You know, there's no monster under the mask. It's like it's actual zombies. It's actual werewolves. It's an actual island where
Yeah.
people do go missing. It has a history of pirates being on the island, like all that stuff, and have the whole setting in the bayou is really unique. I don't know, and this is like 90s, I believe, like late 90s animation, and for them to have that good of an animation for Scooby, they did a really good job. So
Yeah, I remember that one. This one, I think this one would probably be one of my favorites too.
yeah,
Just because like there's actually like
a real threat.
yeah.
So that's why I really liked it. 98, yeah. All right, now we're at 32.
32, Kill Bill Volume 2.
Mhm.
So this is the second Kill Bill. The first one's amazing because the last half an hour is really good in the first one, but the second one finishes the story, which I think is really important because, she kills Bill. So,
Mm-mm.
but, yeah.
It's the purpose. Yeah.
It's an action movie, Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a great story.
Yeah.
Great revenge film.
Right. Yeah. 32 for me. Bill and Ted's Excellent
Nice.
Adventure. Again, good stupid humor, but I mean, hey, it's just a good time to really just unwind, relax, turn your brain off, and just watch something funny.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous. And this is, young Keanu Reeves, so it's really fun to see him.
You should, I was gonna say,
super young.
you should go from watching John Wick to Bill and Ted's
To
right
Bill and
after.
Ted's.
You'll be like, what is going on?
What happened to this
Yeah.
guy? Yeah. 31.
31, Deadpool vs. Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Just came out
That's a good
this year. Yeah, it was this year, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that, watched it in theaters. I mean,
Mhm.
you have one of my favorites, Wolverine. Hugh Jackman's in there, obviously.
The best Wolverine.
The best Wolverine. Yeah, and then you have Ryan Reynolds, and then I loved all the cameos, especially from like Chris Evans as Human Torch. That was so good. Gambit finally is in X-Men, or Deadpool and Wolverine. But
Yeah. It was a good movie.
I love this movie. It was so good.
Great fight scenes,
Yep.
great jokes, a lot of references.
A lot of it was for
They
the
had-
fans. It's just,
Yeah, absolutely.
but I
they-
mean that's what I mean as a fan. It's like that's
that's
perfect.
that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
There was 2 references to Greatest Showman. We're
Yeah.
like, yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
that's amazing.
What was it? Was like this guy will sing the entirety or do his whole warm up
Yeah.
for yeah.
Yeah, it was that one, and then they had the radio. They punched in. They were punching each other in the car.
Okay.
And it was one of the first
Nice.
songs that they do in Greatest Showman. 31 for me, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. So this was the Chris Pine 2-3 years ago, I think. 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's
One of the most-
23.
23. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, so there you go, last year. We went to that in theaters. For us, it was well worth it. Just
yeah.
because it's D&D, obviously, nerdy guys like us. They're like, yep, we're going. They did a really good job. Ton of references that we can understand, and just a great action film. I feel like if people really want to get the vibes of what D&D could possibly be as an adventure, just watch the film.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was both like tailored for D&D, and then just people who wanted to watch a creative movie. Which is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, 30.
30. Recently, just watched this one.
Mm-hmm.
Predestination. This is
Huh.
Ethan Hawke.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
And this is a movie about time travel,
Oh, really?
and it's about like changing events or keeping the same. Like
Huh.
ultimately, this will always happen.
Yeah,
And it's kind of a
2014.
time travel movie, and
Interesting.
I really loved the reveal because the reveal happens in the last 30 minutes. It's not like
Oh.
boom, like Prestige is like last 5 minutes or like the last moment, really,
Right.
last couple moments.
Yeah.
And this one, you kind of like start to figure out, oh, this is what's going on, and then it just like keeps on going, and it's really good.
I like the concept of it.
Yes, the concept, and the writing, like
The dialogue.
you could tell
or
like
the
a
writing.
genius wrote this, or like someone who's like, this is a really good
Huh.
script. This is
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I like those movies that really
Yeah.
make you think.
like this is like Coherence too. I had that at like
Oh.
a 40.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of
yeah.
like, this is such a good idea,
Huh.
you know, like
Yeah.
for a script. But yeah,
Interesting. 30 for me is It, 2017. So this is the remake.
Mhm.
So It was made in the late 80s, I want to say. Or, I forget.
yeah.
Original It was decent. The remake of It was
90.
really cool. Huh?
90.
90? So, we both enjoy it a lot. a lot of funny moments, a lot of scary moments.
Bill
The-
Hader's in that,
The
right?
I forget.
Unless he's just in the second one.
It might be just the second, because
Okay.
the second one
Oh,
is
yeah,
when
yeah.
they're adults.
Yeah.
And so, which they did a great job recast, or, quote unquote, recasting. That's,
Oh yeah.
First It,
Yep.
so-
Yep.
I think they did a really good job. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. He really, really fit the bill, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So. 29.
29. Oh, this is great. Gangs of New York.
Gangs of
This
New York.
has probably one of the best villains in like ever.
Okay.
Oh, what?
Dude's play.
Daniel Day-Lewis is so good in this.
Gangs of
He-
New York.
Billy the Butcher.
2002.
or no, not Billy the Butcher.
Wow, this is early 2000s.
What is?
Check the cast.
Yeah, check the cast. I
Yeah.
think it's Billy
Hold on.
something.
Cast. Leonardo DiCaprio. Cameron Diaz. Liam
Yeah, it is Bill the
Neeson.
Butcher. Bill the Butcher,
Yeah.
and he's amazing.
Brendan Gleeson,
Yeah, Liam
yeah.
Neeson's great. Well, sort of. He's in it. He's not in it for very long, but
Gary Lewis.
John C. Reilly's in it. He's he's like serious in this one.
Wow, nice.
Really good story. Talks about like 1800s.
Ooh, okay.
So gangs of New York. Like there's like all these
Yeah.
different, just like groups that
Yeah.
are like trying to get power and.
Sure. Yeah.
Actually, I think it's 1850s, 1860s because they talk about
Nice.
Lincoln.
Okay.
So-
oh, wow.
And it's a political move. It's political, but it's also about
So another historical
yes,
fiction
it's a historical
piece.
fiction movie.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites. So
yeah,
yeah.
I can tell. Where are we at again? 29, right?
Mhm.
Third, Insidious. So this one,
Oh yeah.
actually not a lot of people really enjoyed too much. I feel like you don't really
I liked
hear
it a lot, but yeah.
I really liked it because this was like when Lynn Jay's character, I forget her name, basically the
Elise?
Elise, there you go.
Mhm.
Her and her, two buddy crew. This is when they're first starting out. Yeah, Tucker and Specs. That's what it is. Yeah.
Is that the guy
James
from?
Wan is also, in it. He has a cool little cameo in there. But Third
Yeah.
Insidious is like this girl living in an apartment. She wants to reach out to her mom, but something else answers back instead.
Mhm.
Tries to like literally steal like her face and hands and like all that stuff. Literally just like it's the monster with a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still in between. I think that's what they call it, right? In between.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Or the beyond. The beyond.
The beyond.
And it's like, yeah, this monster with the mask that, in order to breathe, he needs victims, basically. So, really cool concept of, the ethereal plane. So, 28.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Hmm.
This is kind of the third installment of Clint Eastwood's character of the Man with No Name,
Hmm.
and this one's really good. It's classic. It's probably one of the most famous westerns ever.
I feel like I've seen snippets of it.
Yeah,
So-
it's like 3 hours long,
Yeah.
but the story's so good, and it follows three.
Follows
the
good, the bad, and
Yeah.
the ugly.
And so yeah, they label them at the beginning, and Lee
Yeah.
Van Cleef, I think his name is.
Mm.
His character's great,
Yeah.
and Clint Eastwood's great.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's also during the Civil War, so you kind of
Oh.
they're searching for they're doing this this mission or this scenario is happening during the Civil War, so they kind of have to
kind of
deal with
dance
that.
around that.
Yeah,
right.
but so good.
Interesting.
60s movie. Like I don't like old movies, but this one's amazing.
An exception. 28 for me is Annabelle Creation. So it's one of the installments of the Annabelle movies, which there's 3 of them. A lot of people don't like the first one of Annabelle. I can see why, because it's okay.
Yeah.
Third Annabelle is Annabelle Comes Home, and this Creation one actually is really cool because it actually does. Fictional, storytelling. This is how she, begins haunting the house. Basically,
It's a prequel.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, if you watch The Conjuring, it's basically like before that.
Oh,
So
okay.
It's the actual origins of
Yeah.
Annabelle. And, she haunts the house that she's created in because, the daughter is, killed, basically, like accidental death, so she haunts the place. But it's not the daughter, it's something else. So, 27.
27, V for Vendetta.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
such a good movie. We kind of talked about this
Mhm.
last night. Kind of media
Yeah.
controls the world, and this is kind of the point of that.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving is
Mm.
in it. He's
Elrond.
the voice of he's such a badass character in this one. Natalie Portman's in this. But yeah,
Like
it's
Batman.
just
Yeah.
unraveling the system of what's actually going on. And It's
Right.
kind of like a 1984 movie.
Mm-hmm. But
so
the whole message is just
Yeah.
who controls the media, who controls
Sort of, and
the,
we need to take down the government.
Yeah.
It's a libertarian movie.
yeah, yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
But
it is.
it's so good.
Right, 27, The Dark Crystal for me. So this is a Jim Henson film, and this is it deals with puppets and stuff like that. Not a lot of people will get into it because it looks like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is a dark fantasy. I feel like you could call it dark fantasy. It is a wild, crazy movie.
Hmm.
A lot of people really like these are the Skeksis.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is one of these stop motion films that he did, and man, it's just so good. World building is really great. The Dark Crystal itself, drawing power from, for everybody else, and the Skeksis with the Mystics is very cool, like the tie that they have together. But Dark Crystal's not like well known. I feel like it's I guess you could say it's like a cult classic in a way where it's very niche. So, but yeah, 26.
You miss Good and the Bad, the Ugly.
Yes.
28.
Love it.
26.
26, Scary Movie 2. This is the best scary movie. Parody movie about, horror movies.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. Wayans brothers. Anna Faris is in it. There's a lot. David Cross is in it. He's Crane from Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, Great movie,
Yeah,
too.
it's just a barrage of jokes. Like, there's a joke
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
20 seconds at least.
Tim Curry.
Yeah, Tim Curry's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But, yeah, hilarious
I
movie.
like it. 26 for me, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. So that's the second
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Good old Davy Jones and his part of the ship, part of the crew, kind of thing. Obviously the whole Kraken fight. It was really, really cool.
Music's great. The
Music
soundtrack.
is incredible. The adventure on the island with the I guess like the natives of the
The
island
natives,
being
yeah.
all like super like bloodthirsty, being like, oh no, we're gonna sacrifice Jack.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, a lot of jokes. Just a good adventure. So,
Mhm.
25.
25, Birdman. This is Michael
Birdman?
Keaton.
Is that what-
Birdman.
that's what's
It's called Birdman. And
Oh.
it's kind of, so it follows Michael Keaton as an actor, and he's kind of doing these plays, but it kind of focuses on his struggle to deal with his past fame. So it kind of is talking about him as Batman.
Huh. Okay.
So,
Interesting.
like, throughout the movie, he's thinking about his role as Birdman,
Yeah.
which was his popular movie that he had previously. So it's kind of like, it's about Michael Keaton, really, and it's about acting.
Interesting.
And so one of my favorite movies is Whiplash, which we'll see later, but it's kind of like, what is it like to be like an intense, in these intense situations where you're an actor, but
Gotcha.
it's really good.
Huh. 25 for me, National Treasure.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched that movie. So many times. I don't know, something about it where I could watch start to end all the time, and then I'll just restart the movie just because it's like, you know what? Sure, might as well. So I've done it before. I think
Wow.
I did that 5 times in a row in one day.
That's crazy.
So, I don't know, just something about the whole premise of it, just very dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Consequences are humongous. All that stuff. Stealing Declaration of Independence. It's not a,
Yeah.
it's not a, what do you say? It's like a, it's not a, we shouldn't do it. It's we can't do it. And
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Prove you wrong. 24.
24, Tarantino, Inglourious Bastards. This is a historical fiction movie.
Mm.
World War II follows someone who runs a theater, and then
okay.
they're called the Bastards, and they are kind of this group of ragtag guys that go around killing Nazi officials, Nazi soldiers.
I think I've seen a little
Undercover sort of.
snippets of that.
Yeah.
A little bit here and there.
Yeah, and it's pretty gruesome.
Mm.
Especially, there's a couple instances, a couple scenes, but most people will talk about like the basement scene about the with this movie, and it's really good. Michael Fassbender, Brad Pitt.
It's a remake of 1978.
A remake.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. So yeah, with most of the Tarantino movies that I've been referencing, a lot of them are
Remakes.
not like remakes, but like paying homage to, and
Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay.
in a modern way. Which
Yeah.
is good. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
24 for me, Passion of the Christ. So this is a very, obviously very heart-wrenching, emotional movie. They did a great job because I think it was all in Hebrew. The script was, if I remember correctly. Am I thinking of that correctly? If the dialogue was written in Hebrew and then it was all subtitles.
There were different Aramaic, French, Latin, and Hebrew. It all was transposed into that.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson's the director.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson's the director, but
Awesome.
it's the whole story of Christ from basically his
Did it
whole.
in those languages.
Yeah, because I remember they put that movie in different languages, and last time that I watched it, it was in Hebrew. Yeah, Aramaic, Hebrew, Latin.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very powerful, moving story, especially like for us as Christians, it's good to just kind of revisit his story. Obviously the whole crucifixion and his last moments are just you just start crying. No matter how many times you watch it. 23.
23, another comedy, A Haunted House, which is a parody movie.
House.
It's a lot like Scary Movie 2. It's with Marlon Wayans, and it's crazy.
Have we seen that one?
It's pretty funny,
I've
but
seen parts of it.
Parts of it? Oh, yeah.
the
'cause
guy from Office is in it.
Okay, I think we've seen parts of it.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Basically, just another spoof.
Yeah, it's a
basically.
parody. Yep.
All right. 23, Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace. So, yeah.
Wow.
I know. Not a lot of people like it, but I love it. So, you know what? Deal with it.
Was little Anakin in
Yeah, small Anakin. This is Anakin's origin story.
it? Mother gives a 2 thumbs up over here.
Yep. Mom loves Episode 1, and I like Episode 1. The more that I've rewatched it over the years, the more that I really appreciate it. I know that a lot of people from original trilogy were like, "This is terrible. Oh, this sucks," and it's just
It has
like,
Darth Maul with both lightsabers.
But it has Darth
Dual
Maul.
lightsabers.
It has Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon. You have young Obi-Wan. Everybody's favorite, Jar Jar Binks.
Yep.
Everybody loves him.
No.
everybody's favorite villain, Watto.
Yep.
Only money. Your Jedi tricks don't work on me. Yeah, I don't know. Enough said.
Yeah. 22?
22.
22, Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
Jake Gyllenhaal. He's this crazy guy that has this pursuit of being TV news like reporter. So he gets all
of
this
it.
like footage, and he's just a crazy guy. And I mean that's basically what it is. I mean it goes more in depth with that, but he's like creating his own business really.
Huh.
He starts out with just simple camcorder, and then he just
expands from there.
starts using he starts manipulating people, and it's crazy, but it's really good.
Yeah, interesting. 22 for me, another Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. So this is another good one. I feel like with a lot of movies and a lot of franchises, it's hard to make a second movie, like a
Sequel.
sequel or So I feel like they did an amazing job from Episode 4 to 5. Like they made Vader a lot more
Menacing.
scary, menacing, and he's a bigger threat than you really think. It's like, okay, Episode 4, Vader's the bad guy, the villain, whatever. 5, he's like going through all these planets and like devastating everybody planet to planet. And obviously 5, you don't have the Death Star, but it's more of just character building. I feel like I really love Bespin, Cloud City.
Yeah.
Pretty much like the
Lando
last half of it with Lando,
Boba Fett,
all that fun stuff. So, and the lightsaber duel, obviously, very cool. The carbon freezing chamber,
Iconic. Yep.
a lot of really key moments, especially with the "No, I am your father." That all comes from Episode 5.
It's not true.
It's not true. It's impossible. All right, 21.
21, another Tarantino, Pulp Fiction. This
Fiction.
is probably the number one movie of 1994. I
It's
don't
a
know
big
if
movie.
it won any awards, but I mean, it's crazy. It goes
Pulp Fiction.
back and forth through...
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta. This was John Travolta's
Resurgence.
reemergence, if that's a word.
Yeah, it is.
Back into kind of a big role, because he was in the 70s with Grease and the dancing movie or whatever, and then after that it kind of went downhill, so then Tarantino brings him back up, and but just travels through different events, and it's kind of this crime movie in the 90s.
I'd say so. Lost my place here. 21. The first Spider-Man. Spider-Man! He's a menace! Good old Tobey Maguire. The best Spider-Man, by the way. The ultimate best. You're listening to that? Best Spider-Man? Yeah. I don't know, just good old classic hijinks of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Against Green Goblin.
Willem
Absolutely
Dafoe.
incredible. Willem Dafoe did like the best job that he could with that villain.
Yep.
And out of all the Spider-Man villains, I still think Green Goblin is, for me personally. A lot of people have their own opinions,
and I think,
but Green Goblin, incredible. Scientific experiment gone wrong, basically, and then he has like a split personality between himself and quote unquote the Goblin.
Stays true to the comic book too.
Stays pretty accurate to original source. Which hey, look at that!
Imagine.
You follow the original source. It's a good story. Wow. Anyway, I can get into that. 20.
Spider-Man 2. That's my...
Nice. That fits the bill.
Yeah. So
Doc
Ock. We already talked about this, but I feel like this is the most well-rounded out of all of the trilogy, in my opinion. Yeah, great story, great villain, kind of the balance of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, because he kind of takes a break where he's like, I need to get my life together, and
tries to get with Mary Jane, tries to settle that down, even though it's a little rocky.
But, it doesn't. Yeah,
absolutely. 20 for me, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. So this is the second Ace Ventura. Yeah, it's pretty high up there.
So is mine.
Yeah,
it's a really
we said before, one of our family movies is Ace Ventura. Mm-hmm. We quote it all the time, no matter what. will say one little line and we'll follow up with the rest of the scene.
The rest of the movie.
And the whole rest of the movie is
Just-
like, okay, maybe
yeah.
we should just watch this now.
Messi.
Yes. With the dough. Yep. It's just so quotable all the time, and it's a wacky, ridiculous film that you just don't need to think about it. Just watch and it's just funny.
19.
All right, 19.
Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban.
There you go.
Talk about this,
Talk
but
about
I feel like this is when, at least in my opinion, the movies start to get more in depth with what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And more of the threats of what Harry faces.
Yeah.
And I love Sirius Black. Sirius Black's a great character.
Mm-hmm.
And him and 3, 4, and 5 are great.
And I think 3 is maybe I'm just kind of recalling from memory is the only one that doesn't have Voldemort in the movie.
That's true.
Because the threat is Sirius Black, because he's the quote unquote supposed mass murderer, but he's actually not. But the whole rumors of Voldemort are there.
Yeah.
He's just not there.
The villain's kind of more of like even like the Dementors and Sirius Black and Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew.
Yeah.
19 for me, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So
Mine's
for us, definitely a very quotable movie. Obviously, spoof on King Arthur and his trusty crew, his group. A lot of good lines. I feel like it's just every little scene has
something quotable.
Something quotable. Yeah. Like I always like quoting the bridge keeper. What is your name? What is your quest? What is your favorite color? Blue. All right, there you go.
That's easy.
That's easy. Yeah. 18.
The Revenant. Leonardo DiCaprio won his first Oscar.
That's a good
for this one. 2016, I believe.
Another survival
yes.
film.
And the reason why I like this is because the villain is actually so good, and you just hate him so much.
Yeah.
Because he's the worst person of all time. Tom Hardy he's so good.
Job.
He's a great villain, and story's great, interesting, because great opening scene, and then it just kind of goes into the story. Good revenge movie.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yep.
Absolutely. 18 for me is Arrival. So this is actually an alien movie where the aliens are peaceful. So they're actually, and it deals with time travel too. So basically this spacecraft, I think there's 12 of them, land throughout the world. And the reason why I like this is it's based off of language. So they try to communicate. The main character, she's a linguist, a professor basically of linguists, and she tries to communicate with the aliens by studying their language, which is really cool because it's like a circular, almost vocabulary where little splotches might mean this word or that word, or they might spell things, and so their concept of language is in a circular thing, and it also ties in with their way of life, of how their life is circular because they're time travelers, I guess. And instead of a straight line for us, they go back in time because they need the humans' help. So it's a very slow burn movie, but for me it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean it's directed by Denis Villeneuve, who did Dune.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Arrival is great.
Yeah.
17,
X-Men: Days of Future Past. This is the best X-Men movie. Another time travel movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael Fassbender as Magneto is amazing. James McAvoy, Professor X, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
It has both the 2000s X-Men along with the newer.
Mm-hmm. A good blend.
Yeah, great blend. And
good action sequences.
I like to see the kind of the minor X-Men, like Bishop is in it, and just a lot of characters.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
just recalling everything.
oh yeah, Quicksilver's in it. Quicksilver has a great scene.
Wolverine, Mystique. Yeah, Maximoff, Peter Maximoff. Yeah, Beast.
Oh, and Beast. It's a great villain because
Nicholas
Hoult.
He does such a good job.
Yeah, the villain's good because like he has no powers himself, but he's
Yeah.
like building the Sentinels and yeah.
Mhm. 17 for me, Narnia, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. This I had to put this in the top 20 because I watched it time and time and time again. Read the books, absolutely incredible. I think I watched the movie first, and then I'm like, oh, there's books. So, 'cause I think I remember we got that at a book fair, I think, and I still have the same copies at home because they're incredible. I always have goosebumps when Aslan, when he comes up to the rock during the battle and just like, yes, he's incredible, and just like that final fight, I feel like that's just like the key moment. It's like it's so cool. Just a great story, I feel like.
Yeah.
Good fantasy one. So 16,
1950s 12 Angry Men.
Hmm.
This is all shot in the same room for the entire movie.
Oh, really?
And it follows this one guy trying to convince the other 11 jurors to rethink an entire court case. And it's really good.
Interesting.
Acting is amazing, and it does help that it's all in one area because it just you feel like you're just in that moment the entire time.
Sure.
And you're not missing anything.
So
And you don't miss anything.
It's like a debate movie.
Yes.
Almost in a way.
Yep.
Yeah. Huh.
Court case.
Court case. Yeah.
Sort of, yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of tension, basically. Yeah. Oh, I like that. 16 for me, The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. So this is the first Hobbit. So I had Battle of the Five Armies. Was it in part 1? I think it was the last one. Yeah, Unexpected Journey was great because for me, it mostly followed the book. A lot of the songs, which some people were like, oh, why does it have songs? It's like, have you not read The Hobbit? Have you not read Lord of the Rings? There's like
Song every
10,
chapter,
15 songs throughout the whole thing. So I thought they did a really good job, especially with Misty Mountains song. Oh, that's incredible. Following Bilbo out of his home in the Shire.
Great casting for Bilbo. So
yeah,
Martin Freeman,
and then obviously Ian McKellen, reprising his role as Gandalf, and I feel like the two of them just really just great dynamics between them, and I don't know, just Martin Freeman as the highlight. I feel like he did just a great job filling the role of Bilbo. So 15.
Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Really? I thought it would be higher up than that for you.
Most of it is for nostalgic reasons why it's number 15.
Okay.
But I love this movie. Watched it 100 times.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, General Grievous. Anakin, and
pretty much the whole fall of Anakin, really.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like it. Yeah, I like it from start to finish.
Yeah.
Because the first scene.
Yeah.
The first half an hour where the space battle and
space battle is
rescuing
amazing.
Chancellor.
And apparently they had a whole bunch of deleted scenes on
I know, and
episode
it's
3,
like an hour.
and it's like a whole hour
Yeah.
extended. Yeah.
Yeah, release the
wish.
director's cut.
I know. It would be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and then of course Obi-Wan versus Anakin.
Yeah.
At the end. The best lightsaber duel
Best
of all time.
won't be beaten.
No,
It can't
ever.
be.
Yep.
So
15 for me, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. So this is the first Pirates of the Caribbean that came out. Like I said before, origin stories, the first movies are usually most likely the best ones. Just Johnny Depp filling that good old pirate role. I don't know, he did such a good job. And the costumes, the dialogue, the ship design, it was all just perfect.
The quirkiness of him too.
Yeah. Yeah, the weird walks that he does, the way that he talks, and Will Turner. I mean, obviously with Orlando Bloom already part of Lord of the Rings during that time.
Yeah.
Now he's part of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Two huge franchises at once. All right, 14.
14, The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Yeah.
Dark Knight.
It's a
Christopher
good
Nolan's
one.
best Batman movie.
I have that on my list too.
The
best Batman movie.
Yeah.
For me. I don't know. A lot of people are kind of
I think
up and
it's.
down, but I feel like it's
I think
the
most
best
people
Batman
would say
one.
Dark Knight. Just a great story, and every time I watch it, or every time I rewatch it, I guess.
Yeah.
You kind of see Two-Face is actually a really good villain too. I mean,
Mhm.
Heath Ledger and Joker is great, but
Yeah.
Two-Face. It does kind of follow Two-Face, really.
Yeah.
And
taking a guy
he's great, and then the end scene is amazing.
Yeah.
It kind of shows that, but
absolutely.
Yeah.
I do like that whole premise of taking somebody that's actually like a really good guy.
Yeah.
And then Joker just twisting him because he's in the public eye. So if it's like, oh well, make Gotham a worse place and take the what do you say? Take Gotham's White Knight and turn it into something evil or I forget the quote, but it's something around that. What are we at? 14, right?
Yes, I
14.
just said 14.
For me, The Exorcist. So this is all the way back in 70s. Yeah, this is a while back. Based off of a book, Blatty or something like that. William Blatty's. Yep, Exorcist. This was I feel like it's a staple in horror films because so many people were terrified of this movie. And I heard a lot of people ran out of the theater because they're like, no.
Yeah.
And they got all spooked out and scared. And 73, yeah. So it was, for the time, I could see why it was terrifying to a lot of people. It is a pretty creepy film, I guess. Taking, like, if you look at, what's the girl's name? I forget. At the very beginning, you see her, Regan, yeah, Regan. So you see her as like a healthy young girl, and then you get all the way to the end movie, and she's all possessed and stuff, and she looks nothing like she did before, and it's terrifying just to see that whole progression. And
the realism of demon possession was the premise of that movie.
Yeah, trying to scare people of like, this is what happens when you mess with Ouija boards.
Yes.
When you mess with dark spirits, this could possibly happen.
Exactly.
With demon possession, it's kind of a scary thing, which a lot of the horror movies that I've seen is based on demonic possession, which is terrifying. And I think it's just a scare tactic of like, don't mess with these dark spirits. Don't mess with Ouija boards. Yeah, it's a terrifying image.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Mm-hmm.
Scary Movie 2 is the parody.
A parody.
Yeah.
Yep. 13.
13, Pirates of the Caribbean, At World's End. It's my favorite.
The third one.
Favorite Pirates movie.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I'll have debates with a lot of people that this is the best one, but I think it's the best story. It has the most characters. It has the best. It has all the best villains. It has the villains from 1, 2, and 3.
The end fight is really
End fight,
cool.
the Maelstrom.
Yep.
Amazing. So I feel like it's the most complete out of all of them. It has a great soundtrack.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little. It's more like mystical, but it's more.
It is. It feeds into the tall tales and sea, pretty much.
Exactly.
I mean,
so
I feel like,
that's why I like that one the most.
Yeah, absolutely. 13 for me. Mom will probably like this one. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the very first one. Yeah, see, a lot of people are like, boo, no!
Boo. That is boo.
But for me, yes. First movie, origins of Harry.
Innocence.
Innocence of Harry, even before he gets to Hogwarts.
First time to school.
First time to school, finding his wands and his books. And it's like, for me, I just really like the origin stories of things. And seeing the progression of Harry at the beginning of, raised by muggles, and now all of a sudden, you're a wizard. What? Okay. So, I don't know, just really like it. And Voldemort, literally, you talk about having Two-Face.
Yeah.
Voldemort on the back of Quirrell's head. Pretty creepy. Like, if you're Harry and you're 11 years old, and you're like, okay, I'm going to a magical school, you don't expect a guy with two heads as the villain. So... 12.
12, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
It's up there, yep.
Yep, Bumblebee Tuna.
Bumblebee Tuna.
Earthquake test.
Earthquake test. Shawshank Redemption. Chicago. You're out of here. Go on, go.
It is the mucus that binds us.
So many quotable
Go on.
lines.
Yeah.
On and on and on. 12 for me, first Insidious movie. So this is part of the 5-movie franchise that delves into the ethereal plane and the quote-unquote in-between phase where some people, claim to be trapped between the physical world and the afterlife, which is the in-between. I think in the Insidious they call it the Beyond.
Yeah.
The that doesn't sound right, but basically follows
The Beyond.
the Beyond. It is the Beyond.
Yeah,
Oh,
we talked
okay.
about this earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like, oh well, weird because we think the house is haunted, but it's like no, it's actually not the house.
It's the person.
It's an actual person who has an entity attached to them, so they have to call in a specialist, and
Yeah.
that's where
The Further.
the Further. That's what it's called. The
Further.
Further.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting, and I like the premise, and it's it's an interesting twist on the paranormal. So 11.
11. Some call me Tim.
Tim. Monty Python.
Monty Python,
Yeah.
Holy Grail. Talked about this, but
Yep.
yeah, I love this movie, and I could watch this anytime.
Is that the one, Bring Out Your Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the
Bring
beginning.
out your dead. Dung.
I'm not done.
Dun.
I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead. You're not fooling anybody. Or the she's a witch. How do you know she's a witch? She looks like one.
What is something that floats? Very small rocks.
Very small rocks. Apples. A duck. Oh, exactly. It's just insane. 11 for me, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So this is my favorite one because of the tournament. The stakes are very high because Voldemort returns in the end, and it really, from then on, it's like, okay, things are very serious, and
Is that when they were underwater?
yeah.
They had to conduct competitions underwater.
They go into the Black Lake and they have to face up against the mermaids, which
Mhm.
is cool because of the twist that they made on mermaids being, like, I guess territorial, not so much evil, but just territorial, and they looked kind of weird in a way. They had like shark fins and like they had like really big like bug eyes and tridents, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like
Yeah.
the way they did. But tournament, the whole movie pretty much. With
Cedric's death.
Cedric's death and David Tennant
Oh,
at the very
yeah,
end.
yeah.
He's Barty Crouch
Yeah.
Jr. And he's pretty much in disguise because he takes up all of Snape's Polyjuice potion, I think it is. Yeah. Very good film, and it kind of sets up the rest of the movies of how serious Voldemort can be. So,
Yeah.
because he's physically a person now,
Yep.
so without a nose. And number 10.
Top 10.
Top 10. Here we
Oh,
go.
boy.
We're at top 10 now.
At number 10, for a few dollars more. This is the second installment of Clint Eastwood's character, and it follows him and Lee Van Cleef's character, and the duo of them is amazing, and it's so good. It's a great Western. Really good story. It's a simple story, but it's really good, and I really like this because, like, you just
more.
you
Did
just-
it talk like that?
no,
Oh, okay.
you just can't beat Clint Eastwood. Like, he's just unstoppable. He is literally an unstoppable force, and I mean, yeah, he's great.
He puts the West in Western.
Yeah.
All right. My number 10. Number 10, Shawshank Redemption. So this is a movie I can watch over and over and over again. Just great prison escape, I should say, not break. Prison escape makes you really think, I guess. You follow the characters. You see how they react. And this is like over like years. Well, the characters spend their time years and years and years at this, at the penitentiary,
Yeah.
I think it is, right?
Yep.
And I don't know, it's just interesting where it really shapes the person because they've been in there for 20, 30, almost 40 years, and that's their whole life, and it's just interesting how all the characters really react staying that long, whether you...
Interesting how they accept their sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
it was bogus.
Yeah, like the older guy, I think it was Mel or something like that. Mel was here, I think.
Yeah.
Brooks. That's
Brooks.
what it was.
Yeah,
Brooks.
Brooks
not Mel.
Adlin.
Yeah, Brooks. With him being the older guy, and he was there like his whole life, and then he's going out into the real world and he can't handle himself.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, that's just. Phew. But anyway,
Institutionalized.
institutionalized. Yeah. Where are we at now?
Number
Number
nine.
9. Yeah.
Comedy,
Okay.
My second favorite comedy of all time, Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
John C. Reilly,
That's
Will
your
Ferrell.
top 10?
Yeah.
Step Brothers?
Very quotable. It's great comedy. You got to have a bunch of genres in your top 10. You can't have.
You can have whatever you want in your top 10.
I'm just. Step Brothers is great. I don't even know a single person that doesn't like this movie.
That's true. It's a funny movie.
Yeah, really funny.
It's goofy. I like it.
Did you touch my drum?
Did you touch my drum set?
No.
Don't touch my drums! I love it. But it's a good choice.
Yeah.
But. Okay. My number 9 is The Dark Knight. So we already pretty much talked about that. Enough. Obviously, I just really love the portrayal of Joker, and Dark Knight just.
And it has such a good intro scene for him.
Yeah, the bank robbery.
With the soundtrack and the bank robbery, and kind of the picking off each of his henchmen.
Yeah.
And just the planning of you kill this guy, and then it's just like a
It's all based on who's going to be the last guy of the group, pretty much.
That's Heath's top.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 8.
Number 8, The Departed.
The Departed.
This is a Boston crime movie.
Okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, what's his name? Jack Nicholson.
Oh, wow.
Jack Nicholson's great. He's kind of this mob boss. And so it's about an undercover agent or an informant. And they're kind of starting to pick up on each other's trails. Because one of them is actually friends with the mob boss, and one of them is undercover trying to take him down. Yeah. And so then it's kind of a Matt Damon versus Leonardo DiCaprio.
Huh.
Yeah.
The ending 20 minutes is crazy.
Huh.
And
You can't follow it almost.
yeah,
That's awesome.
it's really good.
Nice. Number 8 from
Scorsese. Scorsese movie, prize best. So yeah.
Number 8 for me, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. I don't think it'd be on a lot of people's top 10 lists. It is for me because it's really great. You get to see Luke at his best, pretty much. He's gone through his Jedi training. He defeats Vader, but he doesn't kill him. You see Luke's compassion, for Vader. Obviously, you see Vader finally overcoming, his darkness, throwing Sidious down. Supposedly, Sidious didn't die, but that's sequel hatred. Sequels can go off. But it's a really cool ending to the trilogy.
It's a finale, yeah.
It's the finale of the trilogy. I'm like, this was great. I mean, you follow Luke through his entire journey from 4 to 6, so it's like, you go from this moisture farmer guy who's, playing with his spaceship's toys all the way up to, wow, he's a Jedi Master and he just beat Vader. Yeah. Very, very cool. And character development with, Han and Leia and Chewie, you get to see them all unite and blow up the second Death Star. So.
And actually, I think my favorite scene is when they're at Jabba's palace and then they go to the Sarlacc pit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fight off Boba.
Scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Number 7.
Number 7, Django Unchained. This is another Western.
Uh-huh.
And Tarantino.
That's bold.
Brutal. I mean, it's a really good story. Good revenge, redemption story.
The Django.
Yeah, it's about a former slave trying to find his wife and take her out of captivity, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just brutal because Leonardo DiCaprio's character as a villain, he plays it very well, and he's just him, and then Samuel Jackson is just like the worst person ever because he's those two guys are just the really good villains, and it's brutal, but it's really good.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So and I was gonna say, so Inglourious Basterds had Christoph Waltz as the villain.
Yeah.
He won an Academy Award for it, Best Supporting Actor, and then Django Unchained. I think he won Best Supporting Actor for Django Unchained, but he's a good guy. Yeah. And he's Django's friend. Yeah. And
is it the guy with the buggy in the wagon?
Yeah, with the dentist. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Dentist. Yeah.
He's the Jew hunter in
Yep.
Inglourious
Yep.
Basterds.
So, but yeah, Christoph Waltz nails both roles and is great.
My number 7 is The Goonies. So, I literally just watched this like 3-4 days ago, maybe. I probably watched this maybe 10-12 times per year, probably. I watch it a lot. It's another one of those movies that I can just sit down from start to finish and watch the whole thing, every scene. The way that they introduce all the kids at the beginning scenes after the prison escape with the Fratellis.
Is this
Yeah.
Spielberg?
Yeah, Steven Spielberg.
The cast in there was...
The cast was phenomenal. They did a perfect job. Sean Astin being the lead, he did such a good job. The whole thing of kids trying to find pirate treasure to save their
One-Eyed Willie.
home, One-Eyed Willie, just all the traps and the situations, and then they're being followed by the Fratellis. Sloth, hey you guys, all that stuff. Chunk, no, Captain Chunk. Yeah, so it's for me. There's a lot of good scenes, a lot of fun times to be had.
Yep. Number 6.
Number 6.
The Prestige.
Wow, top 10, huh?
Definitely top 10, and it'd probably
Nice.
be in a lot of sane people's top 10s.
Not mine.
20.
The Prestige is amazing.
It's a good
and
movie.
it's great from start to finish. Christian Bale is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And final reveal is probably one of the best final reveals in any movie ever.
Yep.
I love the setting, kind of the
Yeah.
late 1800s with Tesla and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just magicians out competing each other.
Beginnings of magicians.
Yeah.
At high
Mhm.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, like
Yeah.
Bullet Catch and
Yeah, the Bullet Catch was a big one.
so
yeah.
good. But
Yeah, absolutely. 6.
Christopher
Oh,
Nolan's
sorry.
best movie.
His best? You think
Yes.
it is? Yeah.
Yep.
It is pretty good. 6 for me isn't considered a movie. It's considered a miniseries. It's called Over the Garden Wall. And I did a huge project on it earlier this year. I put it in my list as movies because I watch it as a movie. So this is like a miniseries. Each episode's like 11 minutes long. Only one season. Animation is really well done. They kind of go back to the 2D art style. Basically, two brothers are lost in the woods, and they're just pretty much trying to find their way home. But each episode, they meet all these different characters. There's the Beast, and he's kind of like this ominous figure. They try to help others along the way. Basically, the unknown is the forest and like the land. Really cool stuff. Put together, all the episodes are like an hour and a half. So that's why I'm like, I'm going to put it in my top 10 because I love it so much. I did a whole audiobook, so I made the whole show. I went from scene to scene to scene, and I wrote everything.
Mm-hmm.
Narrated everything, put music, put sound effects, all that stuff. So I really love this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, number 5.
Number 5. I've only seen this one once. That's
Okay.
fair, but
Yeah.
Dune 2.
Dune 2. Okay,
Love Dune 2.
it's
Watched
a good
that
one.
in IMAX.
It's a good
And
movie.
wow, I was blown away because watching the first one, building up to this one,
Yeah.
it's just punches you, and it's just
Mhm.
it's so good.
It's intense.
It's intense.
Yeah.
You follow Lisan Al Gaib,
Mm-hmm.
and
The chosen one.
yeah, he's riding sandworms. He's getting into wars. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's just
The stakes just go
yes,
way up.
yep. And this movie's really good because of the first one, really. But
Yeah.
yeah, Dune 2 is great.
The fight at the end, very cool.
So good. Austin
Very cool.
Butler's character is great.
Mm-hmm.
And then that scene when they're in that gladiator arena, it's black
Yeah.
and white. As the sun.
Yeah.
It's just genius. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 for me is the first Conjuring film. So this is back in 2013, and this follows another one of the Warrens' cases. This is one of their most famous cases with Bathsheba or the spirit presumably is Bathsheba, and she pretty much haunts this Conjuring house. And presumably to this day, the house is still haunted. So there are still spirits there that kind of like roam around. But I did actually an episode about this, and I read the books because there was actually books from one of the daughters of part of that story, and she wrote a trilogy. And she said some of the spirits there weren't evil; some of them were good. So it's like it's also kind of like a thought-provoking thing. Is this like Like, are there spirits? Are there not? And it's a spooky film. Not a lot of jump scares, but it's just very creepy.
Yeah.
So, exorcism at the end. Yeah, I think the exorcism at the end is probably like the peak. The climax of it. Really cool because they put it in the cellar, so the lighting's all dark. There's only like a dangling light bulb and very, very cool stuff. But yeah, number four.
Number 4, my favorite comedy of all time, also action movie, sort of. Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Yes, I haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it?
Nope.
Oh. Has one of the best casts ever: Robert Downey Jr., Ben Stiller, Danny McBride.
What?
Jack Black. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise's character is so funny in that.
Yeah. So this is a comedy then?
Yeah, it's and it's also a parody on Platoon.
Okay.
And so there's some scenes where it's overacting, especially from. Well, it's like for Robert Downey Jr. It's like perfect acting of overacting. So it is making fun of actors.
Yeah. And
it's a parody on the Vietnam War.
Okay.
And then you also have Tom Cruise's character who's just a crazy guy, and then Danny McBride. It's so good.
Funny. 4 for me, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Nice.
So we already kind of talked about that earlier, but obviously with all the duels and the rise and fall of the hero, the chosen one. You are the chosen one.
Yeah, I remember watching when I was a kid, watching General Grievous with the 4 lightsabers. I was it's crazy. Yeah.
There's just so many good scenes. Obviously, the rescue of Palpatine in the first scene, the first act, I guess you could say. Lightsaber duel with Dooku, so Anakin gets his revenge against Dooku. Which we've, obviously Dooku from Episode 2, so
he shouldn't have done
it.
It's not the Jedi way.
Not the Jedi way. Do it. And Grievous with Obi-Wan, and Yoda with Sidious, and then Mace Windu.
Who won the fight, by the way?
I mean, Windu, he won.
Yeah.
Really, he did.
Yeah.
He won. Mm-hmm. And he spent too much time
talking.
He could have just went, done. Mm-hmm. And it's like, come on. But, it's a movie, so. Dark side of Anakin turning to Vader, so you get to see the transition of a Jedi into Sith.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Windu went down. That was sad.
Yeah. Number 3.
Number 3. This was one of my favorite movie for a while, but The Hateful Eight Western,
really?
Tarantino, 2015. I love the story. I love the writing. It seems like every piece of dialogue is very, very important. And this is the movie that pays homage to The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're in this blizzard, just like The Thing, too. Mm-hmm. But Samuel L. Jackson, a great cast. Mm-hmm. Samuel L. Jackson, Tim Roth. Yeah, Kurt Russell is great.
I've heard
Michael
of it.
Madsen, Channing Tatum. So great. I love the story. And, it's just great soundtrack, too. Some of it was from The Thing. Mm-hmm. And... I love the ending is just perfect because it's like when you go to a movie and you see an ending, you're like, oh, okay, I thought the ending was okay. Like this movie, I don't even know what anyone else would want. Oh, because it's just to me, it's perfect. But yeah.
Well, you guys all know what my top 3 will be. So first one off is Lord of the Rings: Two Towers. So this is out of the trilogy, Two Towers is the one that I watched the least, even though it has a lot of great moments. I always watch the extended edition because that's the best way to do it.
Yep.
As always, music is incredible. The Helm's Deep fight is very, very cool.
So good.
I think that's the highlight of the whole movie is the Helm's Deep siege. A lot of the I feel like a lot of fans were a little decisive about the elves arriving at Helm's Deep because in the book it's just the humans, it's just the men that fight, and they actually end up winning. So it's like, okay, well, I think it was cool that the elves showed up. A very key moment of losing hope, and then they show up. And then the whole thing of
that's why they won. That's why they won.
Yeah,
they won the battle.
Right. Yeah, like a little last hope.
You can't do it by yourself.
Right.
It's a good
and Gandalf showing up at the top
Yeah.
with the Rohirrim at the top of the hill,
Mhm.
and then Treebeard and his
Oh, yeah,
Entish
with,
friends storming
Siege
the
of
Isengard.
Isengard.
Yeah.
The ending.
Release the river.
Mhm.
Yep. Very, very cool. Number 2,
I would say my number 2 is Fellowship of the Ring.
Fellowship of the Ring.
So,
okay.
yeah, it's my favorite Lord of the Rings movie. I love the Fellowship
Mhm.
because, yeah, you just have the progression of,
I'll actually say this is my number 2 as well.
yeah.
So
So, yeah, the progression of it, having Boromir as kind of the villain of the movie was good.
yeah, succumbing to
Turning
the power
good,
of the
yeah,
ring.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, I love watching this one so much.
Yeah,
And it's just, yeah.
I
The
mean-
start of the Fellowship, you get all the characters, and they're not all
Yeah.
broken off yet, but
Yeah. and you get
Yeah.
the Shire.
the Shire.
Everybody's favorite place in Middle Earth.
Yeah.
It's the Shire, and you get a nice, I don't know, like maybe. Well, I mean, first you get like a 10-minute thing of like, hey, this is what happened before the story.
Mhm.
But then after that, you get a good like 20, 30 minutes of just being in the Shire.
Yeah.
You're like, oh well, we're taking our protagonist and we're taking him from a very peaceful life that he didn't really need to leave, but like Bilbo was like, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll leave this ring, and for somebody to like actually leave the ring on their own, like actually toss it aside, takes a tremendous amount of willpower because it's the ring. So, Bilbo leaving that, and then Frodo's like, hey, I guess it's mine now, and then Gandalf's, well, that ring is kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
So, but great stuff. Gandalf versus the Balrog, very
Yeah.
famous scene, obviously. Wizard versus Balrog, very, very cool. Moria, just in general, was very cool. You get
Yeah.
to see the fighting sequences with them and the and the cave troll and the orcs, and then obviously the last 30 minutes of the film with
Uruk-hai.
the Uruk-hai storming Amun-Hen, which is like absolutely incredible. Just the fight sequences, the choreography, just the way that they fought was
Mhm.
incredible. So
Yeah.
Boromir saving Merry and Pippin, or trying to save Merry and Pippin at the last second. His death against Lurtz,
Yeah.
very emotional. So, all right, number 1.
Number one. Number
The
one is
best movie.
Whiplash for me. I love this movie. It's very intense, and it's one of those movies where if I'm watching with friends and they start talking during the movie, I will visibly get very, very angry and tell them to leave the room.
This is your all-time.
This is my all-time favorite. It's so
movie.
good. J.K. Simmons wins an Academy Award Best Supporting Actor. Miles Teller's the main character, the drummer, and soundtrack's great. And it's just really intense, and you're just like, most of the scenes are in this dark practice room, whatever it's
Okay.
called.
Yeah, recording studio.
Not really. It's like where a band plays. I don't know, band room. But
Hmm.
yeah, a lot of just intense scenes where like you cannot make any mistakes,
Oh,
and it's
sure.
just like even if you play it perfectly, he's still gonna be pissed off.
Oh,
And it's like it's so good.
interesting. A very intense movie then.
Yeah,
So-
and a great ending. I would say The Prestige
Yeah.
and Whiplash, great ending.
Well, my favorite movie of all time, Return of the King, Lord of the Rings. So, absolutely incredible. I always watch extended edition, so a good 4-hour movie. So, if you want to spend your whole day watching something, just watch extended trilogy of Lord of the Rings. But Return of the King, Defeat of Sauron, obviously Frodo and Sam making it to Mount Doom. I actually really like it because it's ultimately Frodo does not destroy the ring. Ultimately, at the very end, Gollum destroys it, which is interesting because I like those twist endings where it's like it's not what you expect, almost in a way. Because earlier in the film, we see them going through Shelob's tunnel, the giant spider, which was another great scene with Samwise showing up with the light of Galadriel, or the vial of Galadriel, against Shelob, and you see Frodo escaping, and he's tossing down Gollum. So we're like, oh, okay, that's the end of Gollum, or whatever. Nah, he shows back up, and he's the one who actually destroys the ring because of his, his greed and lust for it. And then obviously the ending scene with the battle at Mordor at the Black Gate. Very, very cool. Basically taking their best guys and just holding off until Frodo reaches Mount Doom.
Yeah.
They all have that strong hope. Like, you know what? He's still alive. Everybody, he's still alive. So that last hope. And, of course, there's all these highlights for me. Minas Tirith, Siege against Minas Tirith was absolutely incredible. The way that they did it. Charge the Rohirrim from the top of the hill again, swooping in and going against the orcs. And then the Oliphants show up, and it's just like back and forth and back and forth. It's like the best siege. Like this is peak fantasy. Lord of the Rings is peak fantasy, especially Return of the King, because you get so many battles. You get all this, tension. Like, is Frodo really gonna make it? Because it's just those two, and then they got to cross through Mordor in disguise, and it turns out Mordor, even though there's a big volcano, it's actually really cold, and so they're like, oh, this is kind of weird, and so they got to go through all the stuff, and the burden on Frodo is, weighing heavy on him, and Sam's, that redeeming hope, the hero of the story, just keep pushing on.
Yeah.
I could go on and on and on about how amazing it is. Music, obviously, incredible throughout the whole trilogy. Best music there is, I would say. But Peter Jackson did a great job adapting it. A lot of people are like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that they left out. It's like, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
So
Can't have a 12-hour movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So. And I think that concludes our movie list. That's our top 100 movies. So, if anybody's watching, let us know what your guys' favorite movies are.
Yeah.
Or if you disagree or agree with some of them. Obviously, it really depends on people's tastes. A lot of people like certain genres. I don't think I had a single romantic movie in there, so I'm like, I don't like romance movies.
Greatest Showman.
Greatest
A
Showman.
bit. A bit.
Greatest Showman's kind of, but it's more of musical. And so I'm like saying romance, out the door for me. Absolutely not. But some people will be quite the opposite.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like my documentaries, but I don't really consider them movies. So it's like, genres are fun. Movies are fun to talk about, just in general. Explaining briefly why we like each one. So, anything else you want to add? Nothing?
No, just go watch The Prestige.
I guess, what's The Prestige? Yeah.
And Whiplash.
And Whiplash.
And Lord of the
Tropic
Rings.
Thunder.
And Lord of the Rings.
Return of the King.
And Return of the King. Always be sure to do that. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And see you guys in the next episode. Tally ho.